is my song? One more day, yeah. Here we go. Come on in.
I can hear the thunder rolling, and the rain begins to fall. I can feel my courage tremble after I have come so far.
It is yummy.
Today my heart is sinking, and my world is caving in. But there's light on the horizon, and the darkness will give in to one more day of hope. One more day of faith. Tomorrow will be brighter if I get through today. Better days are coming further down the road. So for now I'll just keep clinging to one more day of hope. One more day. And I know that I'll get through this. My dreams are in my grasp. When I find the power within me, I know this storm will pass. It will only make me stronger. When this victory I've won, I can last a little longer if I keep holding on to one more day of hope, one more day of faith. Tomorrow will be brighter if I get through today. Better days are coming further down the road. So for now I'll just keep clinging to one more day of hope. One more day. Better days are coming further down the road. So for now I'll just keep clinging to one more day of hope. One more day. One more
Get on in here. It's time for tea with me, and hundreds, before it's over with, thousands of people will be joining us for tea. Anyway, I told you I was going to talk about my puppy Shadow, who died 5 years ago today. Well, it was yesterday, but we didn't bury her till today. But first, please say a prayer for my brother-in-law Jay. He's still really dizzy and sick, and he just has a hard time. I have this saying, if money will fix it, it's not a problem. I learned that from Rita Davenport. I don't know how to fix Jay, and all I've got is one more day of hope that he will be healed, that we can learn more about what's going on with him. He's found a new doctor, and he seems to be happy with him. He's only been there twice. The guy's going to give it 2 weeks, and then he's going to try something different. Anyway, we're one more day of hope is what we're praying for. One more day. Just get through one more day. And so my puppy Shadow, I told you the story not long ago about how we got Shadow. Shadow, we were at Hog Wild Barbecue, and this pitiful dog came up in the parking lot, and we were sitting in one of the front booths looking out the window. And Robert saw this dog, and they gave you crackers with your salad. And Robert took the crackers out and fed her. And he did it 2 or 3 times. And we eventually got her in my car because it was cold. It was spitting rain and snowing. And it was the middle of March. It was the Ides of March, y'all. March 15th of, I don't know what year. I'd have to look up what year. But she was about a year old. And I told you the story about Dr. Brooks and her being our angel dog. Because she had no sex organs whatsoever. She had no male organs. She had no female organs. But she was a good mama. She was a good mama because she was a mama to our kitties. We got two new kitties in 2009, and Penrod, our white cat, would go out on the back deck when we had he's just a little kitten. Go out on the back deck, and Shadow would go out there and pick up Penrod by the nape of the neck, like mommies do, and bring him back in the house. And when we got Tulip, Penrod took care of Tulip and still does. Cleans her ears, all kinds of. It's just a funny relationship. But Penrod learned from Shadow how to raise something. I mean, Penrod, she was Shadow's baby, and they would sleep together just like Tulip and Penrod are sleeping together right now in the front room, in front of a fireplace. And it was just a beautiful story of how God sent us this wonderful critter. And we thank the Lord every day for our wonderful pets. And when you lose one, don't waste any time. Share the love with others. Now, the story I'm going to tell you about Shadow has more to do with me than anything. But Shadow was big. Her head came up to my waist, and she had broad shoulders, and she had a tail at the base that was this big around, and it was probably this long. And when she wagged that tail, things went flying. I'm telling you, things went flying in the living room. So if I had a hot spot on the coffee table, stuff would just go poof everywhere. And then one day, I wished. Now I said it out loud. It's like telling it to God. I wished that her tail didn't wag. Be careful what you wish for. Because before I knew it, her tail stopped wagging. And it just hung down. And the vet wanted to amputate it. And And I knew it was my fault. I knew it was my fault. Because I threw it out there. So be careful what you wish for, y'all. Be careful. Because God's listening. God is listening. So just be careful. Well, I felt so guilty about it that I started looking in the phone book and on the internet for a veterinarian chiropractor. And, Shadow's been gone 5 years. But she was an angel. She was an angel dog. Robert named her because when you're out in the woods, you couldn't see her. She was brindled. But she was a big dog. She was about 135 pounds or more. And she was a leaner. Marlene, she's been gone 5 years and I still cry. So she was a leaner. And she's like a Great Dane or a Mastiff. I think she was a mix between a Great Dane and a Mastiff. And when she liked you, she would stand up beside you and she would lean on you. She would lean against you. And it was just her way of showing affection. Maybe she was hurting you. We didn't know. But she made herself at home. And if you look on my Facebook page, you can find a picture of Shadow and Loki and Ginger barking at a raccoon. And they were, it was barking at a siren, because when the sirens, if a fire truck came up the mountain, those dogs would just. She was probably around 12 or 13 when she died. Because we had her a year. I mean, we got her when she was about 13 months old. That's what the vet said her teeth looked like. And she was still chewing on things. So I think somebody couldn't feed her and they threw her out in the woods, which was awful. But it was good for us. We got to have, a lot of years with her. But be careful what you wish for. So I started looking, feeling guilty about this dog's tail laying limp. I started looking for a chiropractor and trying to find somebody to give her an adjustment, which is what my brother-in-law Jay has had today. He's had another adjustment because his vertebrae were like way out of whack. And I just had a feeling that was what was making him dizzy, because Michelle used to have that problem. And so one day I come up the driveway and there's these two black dogs. I don't know these black dogs at all. I mean, I've never seen these black dogs. And Shadow was out there with her tail hanging limp. And she is having the time of her life with these two black dogs. They are chasing each other. And it must have been springtime, because she was running around the yard and coming up on the porch and down the side driveway and run through the pond and back up to the house again, and water everywhere. And the next thing I know, Shadow's leaning up right beside me. And I'm standing on the porch and I got my walking stick trying to get their attention, pounding it on the ground kind of like Moses, striking the rock, trying to get their attention. And Robert was standing right beside me, and next thing I know, one of those big black dogs just jumps on Shadow from behind, like dogs do. They do the nasty. And I heard Shadow let out a yelp, just an awful yelp. And then they started running again, and I didn't notice it right then. But in the next day or two, her tail was wagging. Her tail was wagging. What if we'd amputated that tail? But her tail wagged from then on. It wagged from then on. So be careful what you wish for. But sometimes what you think about, you bring about. So I was wanting, I didn't pray for it, but I was looking for a chiropractor, and God sent me one. to fix that puppy's tail. So be careful what you wish for, because God hears you. God hears. He hears. He hears our pain. He hears our sadness. He hears our joy. He hears our laughter. He's there for us. We just have to be willing to let him into our heart. Because when you walk with the Lord every day, he's watching. He knows. He feeds the birds and the fishes. He feeds us all. So take care of your family. Take care of you. I mean, the most important commandment of all is to love our neighbors as ourselves. Love your neighbor. When you love your neighbor, it's just sharing the love. It's paying it forward. Love your neighbor. Do a good deed. Anyway, I've covered my face in tears, but the tea is going down pretty good today. I got me a new charm, y'all. I don't know if you can see it, but I got me a little cardinal charm. Little cardinal. It's just tiny. 'Cause my cardinal comes to visit me every day. Every day. He was here this morning, knocking on the window. I really think it's Ben, saying I'm okay. And there's always a female cardinal with him. And the female cardinal sits up on the little roof of this window right here. And when the bright red cardinal goes away, the female cardinal goes with him. Yeah, I got me a little red cardinal. And I just stuck it on my bracelet. I may have to get me a real charm bracelet, but I kind of like my prayer bracelet with it. But be careful. Be careful what you wish for. Make sure it's a good thing. No negative thoughts. None. Love your neighbor as yourself. The golden rule. Because that's what makes the world go round, is love. Love. And Shadow was loved. Shadow was loved. Shadow was a loved puppy. She was so big. I'm glad Tulip's not as big, because Shadow didn't get in bed with us. She jumped up on the bed one time and we trained her not to do that. But she chewed up a book once of Robert's. It was a book about parasites, which was so funny that she chewed up a book about parasites. But I just said out loud, I wish your tail didn't wag. And then it didn't. And that sort of showed me, be careful with those thoughts in your head. When you say ugly things about yourself, don't do that. Don't do that. Be good, kind, and sweet. And remember, God's there. He's listening to you. Something's outside. Anyway, folks, y'all have a good rest of the day. What are you cooking for dinner? Just keep praying. You have to pray for your enemies. It's It's an Amazon truck. You have to pray for your enemies. Yeah, it's an important thing to do. Important thing for us to learn how to do. Praying for your enemies. It'll change the world. It will change the world. I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. It's Plan and Play Day.